All right, it's the Week 13 edition of Hitting the Books as we look at the best bets for the remaining games on the NFL schedule this week. And joining me to break it all down is a sports betting analyst for the New York Post, the one and only Erich Richter joins me now. Eric, what's going on?
Dex, how we doing? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Hope your holiday was well and enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving weekend. I had a good one. Can't complain about that. Eric, let's start with the Jets. They're going to be hosting the Seahawks, winners of two straight on Sunday afternoon. And this game is basically a pick 'em. The Jets, they are 1-point underdogs. The total points line for this one is 42.5. So what's your best bet for New York versus Seattle?
So this is an interesting game, right? You got the Jets, who are one of the worst teams in the league according to their record, but the odds makers just don't agree with that, and I'm kind of surprised about that at this point. They fired so many of what they came into the season with, and part of what I do and like part of my job is I talk to odds makers all the time. I talk to them on a weekly basis, and one article that I put out was like, why are the Jets still getting love from odds makers game to game, even though they got smashed by Arizona? They've they lost to Denver. A lot of bad losses here. You look at it, and when I talk to them, there's like, well, the Jets are still a really talented squad, and they really believe in the talent. For me, I don't believe in the talent anymore, and I don't believe in the coach. And Aaron Rodgers is old, and the Jets lost by 30 points to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals just lost to the Seahawks, and now the Jets are getting all this love at home. I think it's all noise to me. I think the Jets are not the side here. If you're betting on the Jets, good luck. It is a revenge game for Geno at MetLife, and I think that he rolls. The Jets have the sixth worst rushing defense in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus, and the Seattle Seahawks have the fifth best rushing offensive line, run blocking offensive line in the NFL. I think that Kenneth Walker absolutely feasts in this game, and the Seahawks win this one handily. I don't understand the love for the Jets anymore. It's over. It's done. Stick a fork in them, and the Seahawks are going to win this one easy.
All right, Seahawks winning this one easy, not understanding the line. I have to be honest, I was a bit shocked when I saw this latest line for the Seahawks-Jets game, but here we are. Eric is back in the Seahawks. All right, in the late window on Sunday, we've got the 9-2 Eagles. They've won 7 consecutive games. They're visiting the 8-4 Ravens. This should be a good one. Now, the Ravens, they're 3-point favorites. Over-under right now is at 51 points. Baltimore, they've been strong at home this season. 4-1 record, Eric. Are you backing the home team, or are you going with the road dogs here?
I love the Ravens in theory, right? I think the Ravens in theory are the best team in the league. Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback in the league in theory. He can run, he can throw, and Derrick Henry, in theory, amazing. Where I think this game gets hairy, especially for the Ravens, and the Ravens' run defense is very good. Top 3 unit in the league. They're allowing less than 3 yards per carry in their last 3 games. The Ravens' run defense is really good. It's gonna be a problem for Saquon Barkley. But where I'm really targeting here is I'm looking at the wide receivers. I'm looking at AJ Brown in particular, and I think that he's gonna have a really big game. The Ravens are one of the worst secondaries against deep balls. Jalen Hurts actually throws a real good deep ball. And, if the Ravens fall behind here is where I have questions, because the Eagles secondary is the best in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus, number 1. And in DVOA, they're number 1 against the pass. So I think that the Eagles kind of get out and head early here, and they kind of just ride the wave. And the Ravens are going to have a hard time coming back. I think it's going to be a really interesting game, but I think that the value here is going to be on the Eagles as underdogs. And I'm gonna back them here. I think they're one of the best teams in the league. And honestly, I think we could be seeing them in the Super Bowl again later this year.
All right, backing the Eagles as road dogs here on Sunday against the Ravens. Now, the Sunday night game, Eric, that should also be a good one. You've got the Niners. They're 5-6. They're looking to bolster their playoff chances against the 9-2 Bills. It is going to be freezing in Buffalo. Lake effect snow is expected on Saturday, heading into Sunday. The Bills are 6.5-point home favorites here. Total points line is at 44.5. Talked about the cold there. Eric, are you rolling with the red-hot Bills, who've won 6 in a row, or are you going with San Francisco?
This is a tough one because the noise surrounding the San Francisco 49ers is nothing good. Christian McCaffrey looks like just a guy. And, he's not cutting the way he used to. He's obviously still not 100% with the Achilles injuries that he sustained. No Nick Bosa, no Trent Williams, huge problems, right? The offensive line's not going to be the same. Nick Bosa's their second, arguably their best defensive player, if not second. So Josh Allen should have time to throw. Their offensive line's going to be a little bit weaker. It's really hard to get to the 49ers in a bet. I know they're +7. I know the cachet is that the 49ers are the best team in the league every year. And I understand that. I think that Kyle Shanahan could scheme up a shot, give them a shot to win late. But for me, I'm going to be back on the under here. I think that, both offenses are kind of not where they should be at this point in the season. Josh Allen runs the ball a lot. He plays a lot of ball control, long drives, drawn out. He'll run for first downs. You could go over carries for him. He's one of those guys going to have like 15 carries at the end of a game like this if they're taking it as seriously as they should. Big Sunday night game. It's going to be a tough environment for the 49ers. The line's about right. +7 would, in theory, be disrespectful, but I'm not sure that it is based on the injuries. I'm going to go under 44.5. It could have had 47.5 if you had taken it earlier in the week, but 44.5 is where it's at right now. I think 41 is where it should land by game time, especially if the snow ends up being what we think it is.
Yeah, you wonder. And also, I didn't even mention, besides the snow, the wind expected to be a factor, projected at kickoff to be anywhere between 6 and 12 miles per hour wind gusts. So that could definitely be a factor in that one. But you like the under there. Seems like a pretty good play. Last thing for me, Eric, what's your best NFL player prop for Week 13? What you got?
Yeah, so player props are my thing. I love player props, and I've profited every year that I've been at the Post. Last 3 years, I've profited every year. So far, on track to profit here. Over 50% ROI going into last week. So, my favorite player prop. Let's go. How about Baker Mayfield? Baker Mayfield against the Carolina Panthers. He has run the ball like nobody's business, surprisingly, this year. His number is at 9.5 on DraftKings. You could still snag that one. Some books are creeping up to 12.5, so you're going to want to hit that one while it's hot. But Baker Mayfield has cleared 9.5 rushing yards in all but 2 games this season, and one of them was a blowout where he had 0 yards, and that was against 49ers. So for me, I'm looking at Baker Mayfield over 9.5 rushing yards, and I'm looking at Baker Mayfield 25 plus rushing yards at +400 at ESPN bet. He's cleared that one 3 of his last 7. You're getting +400 on that. That's basically a coin flip based on the last 3. Panthers allow or below average allowing quarterback rushing yards. Baker Mayfield runs it a lot now, and I think that this is probably one of the better plays of the week. But yeah, give me Baker Mayfield over rushing yards against the Panthers. That should be an interesting game as well. So I think that he will actually be looking to run rather than just sit back and let the Panthers play offense.
All right, interesting one there. Baker Mayfield, you're right, has been running the ball well, and I feel like we're always on the same page. I'll be doing my player props later. I have a Baker Mayfield prop for the people coming up later today. That is Erich Richter, sports betting analyst for the New York Post. Check out the great work that he does there. Eric, appreciate you joining me in another edition of Hitting the Books, and enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend.
Dex, appreciate you, buddy. Let's make some money.
Yes, sir.